Imagine a 13-year-old boy standing on a rooftop in Delhi on the night of August 15th, 1947. His father was killed in the partition riots just 3 weeks earlier. His family crossed the border from Lahore with nothing but a cloth bag and a broken photo frame. But tonight, his mother holds his hand tightly and whispers, "Beta, we are free now. Your children will live in a different India. Hope in one hand, grief in the other." Fast forward to today. That same boy is now 90. His grandson works at a tech company in Bangalore. His granddaughter is a doctor in Mumbai. The family owns a home. They own a car. They send money back to the village. They survived. They rebuilt. They rose. But the old man still says one thing with a tired smile. We could have been so much more. Because the truth is simple. Some decisions after freedom lifted millions out of poverty, and some decisions kept millions trapped in it for decades. And today, we are going to walk through those decisions, the choices that built India, the choices that broke India, and the India that could still exist if we learn from them. This is not about blaming one leader or praising another. This is not about left or right. This is about understanding why a civilization that once held 1/3 of the world's wealth took 44 years just to reach $1 trillion in GDP. Let's begin. In 1950, India faced a defining choice. What kind of economy should we build? Two paths lay on the table. One path was the free market model used in America and Europe. Business-driven, entrepreneur-driven, competition-driven. The second path was the Soviet-style model. Government controls everything. 5-year plans, licenses, restrictions. Jawaharlal Nehru looked at a country shattered by famine and poverty. He believed private business could not be trusted. He believed government control would protect the poor. And India chose the second path. Central planning. Now imagine a young engineer named Raghavan in Coimbatore in 1955. He wants to build small electric motors for farmers. He has skill, he has savings, he has customers waiting. But to start a factory, he needs a license to manufacture, a license to import machinery, permission to expand production, permission to hire more workers, approval from almost 20 government departments. He spends 3 years running from office to office. He bribes clerks. He fills forms in triplicate. By 1958, his savings are gone. His idea is dead. He takes a government job instead. This happened to millions of Indians. It became known as the License Raj, a cage for innovation, a wall around progress. And while India was trapped in permits, other nations were sprinting. In 1960, India was richer than South Korea. But by 1990, South Korea was 17 times richer than India. Because India chained its entrepreneurs, while South Korea set theirs free. The result was a slow-moving economy that Western economists mockingly called the Hindu rate of growth. 3.5%, barely enough to keep up with population growth. While Japan grew at 9%, South Korea at 8%, China at 10%. And for ordinary Indians, this slow growth meant one thing: no mobility, no change. A family that worked in a textile mill for generations stayed in the same job, the same wage, the same life. Not because they lacked talent, but because the system refused to let talent breathe. Then came nationalization. 1969. Indira Gandhi announces that 14 major banks will be nationalized. The goal is noble. More loans for farmers, more loans for small businesses, more support for the poor. But the reality becomes very different. A farmer named Ram Prasad walks into a bank in 1985. His tube well is broken. He needs 5,000 rupees. The manager asks for land titles and revenue records. His family never had those papers. The manager tells him to come back next month. His crops fail. He turns to a moneylender who charges 40% interest. Meanwhile, wealthy industrialists get massive loans they never repay. Politicians pressure banks to lend to their allies. A system meant to uplift the poor strengthens the powerful instead. And this pattern repeats. Coal mines nationalized, oil companies nationalized, airlines, insurance, steel plants. The government becomes the country's largest business owner, and with control comes corruption. If you needed anything, a phone connection, a gas cylinder, a train ticket, you needed a bribe or political influence. By 1991, India was on the verge of bankruptcy. Foreign exchange reserves were enough for just 15 days of imports. India had to airlift 47 tons of gold to London as collateral for emergency loans. A civilization that once produced a third of the world's wealth was now mortgaging its gold to survive. But one wound cut even deeper: education. In 1950, India's literacy rate was just 12%. The government faced a choice: build mass literacy or build elite institutions. India chose to build IITS, IIMS, and AIIMS first. These colleges became world famous. They produced CEOs of global companies. They became symbols of Indian excellence, but they served only the top 1%. For millions of children in villages, there were no schools, no teachers, no textbooks. 2 generations lost to neglect. Not because they lacked intelligence, but because they lacked opportunity. And while India hesitated, China launched a huge literacy movement. From 1950 to 1980, China's literacy jumped from 20% to 66%. India moved from 12% to 41%. We fell behind, not in intelligence, but in priority. Manufacturing was another missed opportunity. China opened its economy in 1978 and became the world's factory. Every global company built factories there. Millions of Chinese moved from farms to stable factory jobs. India, instead, focused on services, and India excelled. IT companies like Infosys, TCS, and Wipro became global giants, but IT employed 4 million people. India needed jobs for 400 million. A young man like Suresh from Bihar, who finished only 10th standard, could have worked in a factory making electronics or garments, but those factories were in China, Vietnam, and Bangladesh, not India. So he became a daily wage worker in Delhi with no security and no future. These were the costs of choices made decades earlier. But India did not only make mistakes. India also made decisions that changed millions of lives forever. Democracy was the first. The world expected India to collapse. They predicted military rule. They predicted division. They predicted chaos. But India held elections. People who could not read were given symbols to vote. For the first time, the poorest Indian and the richest Indian had the same vote. Power came from the people. And despite every challenge, India stayed a democracy. It became our greatest strength. Then came the White Revolution. Verghese Kurian created the Amul Cooperative. Farmers owned the system. Farmers set the price. Farmers earned the profit. India became the world's largest milk producer. Millions of families earned stable incomes. Children who once slept hungry drank milk every day. Next came the Green Revolution. When drought struck in the 1960s, India was on the verge of famine. The country depended on foreign grain. Scientists and leaders came together. New seeds, better irrigation, fertilizers, training. India went from shortage to surplus, from famine to self-reliance. Millions of lives were saved. Then came 1991, the moment India woke up. Manmohan Singh opened the gates. Licenses were abolished. Imports were liberalized. taxes reduced, foreign investment welcomed. For the first time in decades, Indian entrepreneurs were free. Infosys grew, Reliance grew. Tata expanded globally. A new middle class was born. Then came infrastructure and digital transformation. Highways under Vajpayee, UPI under Modi. The country connected. A flower seller in Chennai accepts digital payments. A rickshaw driver in Patna earns more because every payment is recorded. Connectivity changed lives. Now imagine an alternate India, an India that chose economic freedom in 1950, an India that built mass education first, an India that embraced manufacturing early, an India that built highways 70 years ago. That India today would be a $15 trillion economy, maybe 20 trillion, one of the richest nations on earth. But we cannot rewrite the past. We can only learn from it. India lost decades. India missed opportunities. But India also made choices that saved millions of lives. And today, India is rising again. The fifth largest economy, the fastest growing major economy, a leading space power, a global tech force, a startup nation. And now, the choices are ours. Will we repeat old mistakes, or will we build a future worthy of our ancestors and our children? Because the India that should have existed by 1990 can still exist in our lifetime. Not in history books, but in our streets, our schools, our startups, our villages, our cities. The choice is ours.